Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I am half a hockey fan.
How you doing today, Fred?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I've been better.
Yeah, you have. You're all sick and stuff.
I am. I've got a winter cold going on, so I apologize in advance if I sound a little raspy. I'm going to do my best to get through this, though.
Yeah, well, I've just been pretending it's not there, and it's been working out pretty well for me. I'm not sick.
Yeah, if you can't see the illness, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
All right. That's, I guess, one way to handle it. So,
Yeah, well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
2026 is off to a great start.
It is, I guess. I don't know.
Not much has happened, so it's pretty great.
We haven't, I think, left the house since, or I haven't. You've been obviously birding because that's what you do. You're the bird man.
I'm the bird man, Fred.
Yes, that's what you do now. So, but yeah, I don't think I've really left the house on account of the illness.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the way I like it, really. So,
Yep, we've watched a little bit of hockey and no news, and everything's fine.
yes, absolutely. If, we don't look at the news, then nothing matters and everything's cool.
All good.
Just ignoring it all. Not really. It's fine. Anyway, there is hockey news to talk about. So
Of course. Let's go.
Let's get into that. We're not going to really talk about too much NHL stuff this week because there's a lot of sort of bigger stuff to talk about. And that is the Olympics.
The Olympics.
Some Olympic rosters were announced this week, and it's been big news. So first, the men's Canada hockey team was announced for the Olympics. And I'm just going to kind of run through the roster for you real quick.
Yeah, we watched the live stream of this exciting presentation from like a Marriott in like Ottawa or something.
And there were like kids announcing it like on video screens.
Yeah, but they
very strange.
They didn't cut to the video of that. It was just like
TV monitors of kids reading the names.
Right. They released the video later, which was fine, but yeah, the hype around it was pretty bad.
If the NHL ever learns how to put on like a production, that's all over, but they never will. So,
I mean, they did a better job than the US did, at least.
I didn't even watch the US stuff.
Oh, you did see it though.
Did I?
Yes, we can talk about that when we get there. But anyway, Canada's unveil was pretty bland.
Okay. Yes, it was. But here's what we really care about, and that's the roster itself. So the forwards for the men's Canada hockey team for the Olympics will be Macklin Celebrini, Anthony Cirelli, and Sidney Crosby, Brandon Hagel, Bo Horvat, Nate McKinnon, Brad Marchand, Mitch Marner, Connor McDavid, Braden Point, Sam Reinhart, Mark Stone, Nick Suzuki, and Tom Wilson. Then on defense, you have Drew Doughty, Thomas Harley, Cale Makar, Josh Morrissey, Colton Parayko, Travis Sanheim, and Shea Theodore. And then for goalies, you have Jordan Binnington, Darcy Kemper, and Logan Thompson, which is a big surprise.
Okay.
So yeah, there were some notable inclusions in this lineup. First is Tom Wilson, who did not make the cut for Four Nations Face-Off.
Oh.
He did end up making the cut for Hockey Canada for the Olympics. He is a pretty controversial figure in the NHL, as you well know.
He certainly has controversy surrounding him. So that would make him controversial.
Yes. Yeah. He's a fighty boy.
Yeah.
And his presence may indicate that Canada wants to make sure that they have some grit in their lineup. But that could also be risky because his style of play is not necessarily appreciated on the international level. There's no fighting at the Olympics.
No fighting at the Olympics.
Right. So, they are going to have NHL refs at the Olympics this year. So I don't know if they're going to be a little chiller about the hits than they have been in the past. But I don't know.
I don't know. It's going to be
It's a risk. But yeah. I mean, he is also a very skilled hockey player on top of the grit. It's not like he's just there to goon it up. Like he can actually score points.
No, he's a good hockey player.
So I've seen him, very good.
I've seen him play before.
Right. But
once or twice.
Yes. No, he's very good at hockey as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
There is that. I also think it's great that they brought Logan Thompson.
Tell me about this because I don't understand what's so interesting or controversial or notable about this.
Well, Logan Thompson used to play in Vegas, and from what I understand, Pete DeBoer and Bruce Cassidy both have had issues with Logan Thompson. They don't like him.
Noted goalie hater Pete DeBoer has a problem with a goalie, and that's Logan Thompson. Unsurprising. Okay.
And then Bruce Cassidy also did not like Logan Thompson, I guess.
Well, I don't like Bruce Cassidy either.
Well, no, he's terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what their deal was. I don't know if anybody knows. I feel like they both thought he was like too uppity, like he wanted to be a starter and they didn't like that he was like assertive. And advocated for himself and they didn't like that. So they just have not been wanting him to have anything to do with the, Canada stuff like Four Nations and everything.
So he's kind of just been snubbed since day one.
Pretty much. But I think that Canada's goaltending is enough of a question mark right now with Jordan Binnington having a struggle season that they kind of realized like we can't just leave him home out of spite.
Yeah, what's up with Canada not making goalies? You'd think Canada would be pumping out goalies, but I guess not, huh?
I mean, hockey's expensive as it is, and then being a goalie is even more expensive. So maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like a terrible position to play. Like all that, like sitting and standing and knees, and like it's exhausting to watch a goalie do goalie stuff.
Also, just mentally, you have to be a certain kind of person to be a goalie, and not everybody's cut out for it for sure. So
yeah, for sure.
It's unusual. Perhaps the biggest and happiest surprise is Macklin Celebrini, who will become the youngest NHL player to ever represent Team Canada at the Olympics. Generally, the people who put these teams together are kind of a bunch of crusty old guys who favor older players with more experience. So it's rare to see someone so young get onto the roster.
Good.
And I'm so pleasantly surprised to see him make it. I just think he has played so undeniably well this season. There was no way for them to leave him at home.
No, well, that's good. Yeah, they couldn't ignore the stats and the gameplay, right? He's just doing incredible.
Right. You would think if you had just incredible stats and gameplay, you couldn't get overlooked,
Right.
That's weird how that happens.
And Canada didn't do that.
And Canada did not do that.
No, that's good. Does Macklin have a nickname? Can I call him Mac and Cheese?
I think you can call him whatever you want.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to,
but you could.
All right.
Yeah, no. I'm very proud of him. He's just fantastic. He's looked great this season.
Yeah, and we watched his press conference like post announcement, and it was by the Sharks on their YouTube channel, and they even said in the title like Macklin's shaking with excitement or something along that line. Like he was kind of.
And this was after a game. And
it was?
Yeah, I think it was after a game, but they were talking about, hey, you got picked for the Olympics today. And he was literally trembling. He is so over the moon. And he should be. Like, what a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
At his age. And yeah, he's worked on all aspects of his game and he's going to be fantastic. There are some players that people feel may have been overlooked. A few players who were on the Four Nations team didn't make the cut this time around, including Sam Bennett, Seth Jarvis, and everyone's favorite little feral raccoon, Travis Konechny.
Yeah.
Seth Jarvis was definitely disappointed.
Yeah. What did he say? It's like,
I don't have the quote in front of me, but it was like sometimes you have to eat a shit sandwich.
And it doesn't taste good.
And it doesn't taste good.
Jarv Nasty, my guy. But he's on the like watch list or the
he's on sort of the backup list if somebody's injured.
Right.
To maybe come in later. So there is that.
Yep. I hope he gets there.
I don't like to say I hope he gets there because that means I hope somebody gets injured, but it would be nice if somehow he finds a way there.
People get injured without you hoping they get injured.
Okay, that's a very good point, I guess.
And Konechny not making it, I kind of get.
I kind of get it too. He had a bit of a slow start this season. He is overall doing okay, but I just don't think he necessarily stood out as much.
Yeah, and Sam Bennett, that's fine. I've got no feelings about that.
I think they decided Tom Wilson is their grit guy, and I'm fine with that.
I feel like Sam Bennett would have been a better Olympic grit guy than a Tom Wilson, but
whatever.
We'll see what we see.
Either way, maybe they just didn't want to risk taking out somebody else's goalie.
Right. Or adding more Florida Panthers to the Olympics.
Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure what was up with that, but I guess we will find out. A lot of people also feel like Connor Bedard should have made the list. And while I get where they're coming from, it's honestly a miracle that they're bringing one child. And I think if they are going to bring one child, then Mac and Cheese was the correct choice.
It's already sticking. Yeah. I don't know, right? He's injured sort of ish right now too, which is a good excuse. And like Macklin's holding up his end of the bargain regardless of the team. And I don't know that Connor Bedard is always doing that.
Yeah, I feel like Macklin is kind of, single-handedly dragging the Sharks out of the deep end of the pool.
Right.
And
where the Sharks swim.
Wait, no,
they shouldn't swim there.
I don't know. This metaphor has gotten out of hand. But yeah, no, I think Mac is really sort of driving the turnaround of the Sharks in a way that Connor isn't. And that's not to say that it's solely on him or that it should solely be on him, but I think that Mac just has an it factor that Connor hasn't quite hit yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also the injury proneness is something to consider as well, especially the current injury status. And a lot of people are also disappointed that Wyatt Johnston didn't make the cut. And while I would have loved to see him make the team, I do think he'll have another chance in 4 years. Also, I have to save up all of my outrage for another Stars player that was snubbed, but we'll get there in due time.
Yeah, I don't have any feelings about Johnston not making it. I don't know that he still doesn't feel fully cooked.
I think he's excellent. And again, I think he'll be ready in the future. I think he probably is ready now, but there are so many good people on the roster. I would have a hard time picking somebody to take off and replace them with him, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also would have loved to see Wedgwood or even Blackwood sneak in as the third goalie, but I'm so pleasantly surprised that they're giving Logan Thompson a chance that I can't even be mad about it.
Yeah, and Blackwood's IR right now too, so
that is true.
I don't know. Dump Bennington and pick up Wedgwood.
I mean, yeah, but they'll never do that. So
well,
I can't get mad over a thing that'll never happen.
All right. Well, maybe we can hope Bennington gets injured.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't feel as bad about that.
Right? That's like reasonable to hope he gets injured.
Exactly.
Because he's kind of a guy you would root to get injured.
He's kind of a douchebag.
He's kind of that.
All right, now let's move on to the men's U.S. hockey team.
Okay.
I would say the controversies around the Canadian men's roster were mostly mild, but once you get over to the U.S., things get a bit spicier.
And they were like heated before they even announced it. Like people knew that this was going to be a controversial situation, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So let me start by breaking down the roster. For forwards, we've got Matt Boldy, Kyle Connor, Jack Eichel, Jake Gensel, Jack Hughes, Clayton Keller, Dylan Larkin, Austin Matthews, JT Miller, Brock Nelson, Tage Thompson, Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, and Vincent Trocheck. On defense, we have Brock Faber, Noah Hannafin, Quinn Hughes, Seth Jones, Charlie McAvoy, Jacob Sanderson, Jacob Slavin, Zach Werenski. And then for goalies, we have Connor Hellebuck, Jake Ottinger, and Jeremy Swayman. Additions like Tage Thompson and Clayton Keller were somewhat surprising, but the big story was the snubs. For defense, some people felt like Lane Hudson should have gotten a look, and a lot of people were really upset that Adam Fox didn't make it in. For forwards, many people thought Cole Caulfield should have had a shot, but the internet and media were almost entirely united in their confusion over one major omission, and that was Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Jason Robertson of it all. Anyone who has been following the Olympic news for a while isn't surprised by this because Bill Guerin, who is the GM for Team USA and the GM for the Minnesota Wild, has been extremely clear that he does not think Jason Robertson has what it takes to meet his vision of an Olympian. Back in November, Pierre LeBrun interviewed Guerin for The Athletic and asked him specifically about Robertson. Guerin said back then, "He's doing all he can. There's a number of players that we could take that we won't end up taking because we won't have the room. And when you look at it, there's so many guys that are close in the way they're performing, in their statistics, in their body of work. It could come down to the fit. What do we need?" He went on to talk more about the team's needs, saying, "Honestly, I just don't think you can put into words how tight those games were at Four Nations, how little room there was to operate, and how well those elite players can check. In NHL games, they're not always counted on to do that. But when they are, they can. And not everybody can play in those situations. No matter what their offensive gifts are, if you can't check, it's probably not the tournament for you. There's just no room out there." And this is the crux of the matter. Guerin doesn't think that Jason Robertson can check.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is that there are different types of checking in hockey. There are body checks, which involve physical contact, but there is also stick checking and positional checking, which is when you protect the puck or gain possession of the puck.
Sure.
As a primarily offensive player, Robertson excels at the latter types of checking.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't mean that he doesn't do body checking. He does, actually. Robert Tiffin wrote a really excellent article on his Substack where he interviewed some of Robertson's teammates, including his longtime line mate, Rope Hintz, who talked about the way that they divide their responsibilities. As a center, Hintz does a lot more work lower in the defensive zone, freeing up Robertson, who is a winger, to be in the lane to receive the puck and keep it moving. And once he has that puck, he's able to keep possession and carry it. And protection is, in its own way, its own kind of defense.
Yeah, for sure.
But when required, Robo can do the board battling and has actually gotten a lot better at it, according to Rope, which, you know, he plays with him all the time. Like,
right,
he sees it constantly. A lot has been made, I think, about sort of size as being part of the physicality. Robertson is not a small guy.
No, he's not. He's kind of stocky and huge.
He's 6'3" and he's 204 pounds.
Yeah, he's taller than me.
Yeah, he's not out there gooning it up, but he is able to lay hard hits and he can get feisty when he needs to.
Yeah.
That's not really his game. He has an incredibly high hockey IQ and he's often a step or two ahead of the play. Sometimes it looks like he's not hustling as fast as the other players, but that's because he doesn't need to be. He isn't chasing the puck. He's anticipating where it's going to go next.
Well, yeah. When we watched that YouTube thing with him breaking down like some shots with somebody, it was like 15 minutes of him on the ice and it was like super technical, but he was talking kind of about how he has this kind of like conservation of movement and he wants to stick handle the least amount he can and how he gets himself in situations and positions where that is possible. And that hockey IQ is kind of, you know, what he's talking about there. And it doesn't look flashy. He's not dancing down the center like Duchesne or something, but he's scoring goals because he's good.
Exactly. And Robert Tiffin kind of touched on that in his article where sometimes it looks like he's just kind of standing around waiting for the puck, but it is more of a conservation of energy thing because what happens if everyone's at the boards battling for the puck? Everybody runs out of energy. And then what happens? We get possession of the puck and then we just dump it in and do a change. And then we are fighting for possession of the puck all over again.
Yeah.
Or Rope's in there and he gets possession of the puck and he gets it to Robo, who actually gets it to the other end of the ice for a good offensive chance. And because he's really good at putting the puck in the net, we get a goal.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. It seems...
It's called strategy. Look it up.
It seems pretty simple to me. Maybe this Guerin guy doesn't know too much about hockey.
Well, it's clear that he has opted... Guerin has opted to prioritize defense over offense, which honestly sounds super dull to me.
Yeah, boring.
It seems like they're banking on Canada's weak goaltending to be an issue. But, you know, Robo is super solid defensively, as we were just talking about, and his offensive skills are crazy. Can you really tell me that JT fucking Miller is a better choice?
I can't tell you that JT Miller's a better choice for anything.
Like, JT Miller is my enemy. Like, he doesn't know this because we don't know each other. We've never met, but he is my enemy. And we have literally seen him give up on defense this season.
Literally give up.
Like, literally just go to the boards, kind of like lose a puck battle, and then just stop and then just watch a Vegas player go and score a goal.
We have seen that.
We have seen it. That clip is on the internet. Just look it up. Just look at JT Miller gives up and you will find that clip. Like, I am not even exaggerating.
Well, I mean, he's more of a room guy.
Yeah, if by room guy you mean a toxic asshole, sure. Like, Robo is not even my favorite player on the Stars, so this is not just me putting on Homer goggles. Like,
no.
If this was just me being like a Stars fan, I'd be way more inclined to like get out my conspiracy board and my red string for Wyatt Johnston. But I didn't do that because, like I said, there, you know, I don't know who I would take off of the team in favor of Wyatt over in Canada. But in the US, it's pretty easy.
It's pretty simple.
Like Vincent Trocheck. Yeah.
You take him off?
Yeah.
You take off Vinny?
I mean, I know he has Czech in his name, which is probably why Bill Guerin chose him. But Vinny Trocheck, sure. JT Miller, abso-fucking-lutely, like, does not deserve to be there over Jason Robertson.
I think everyone agrees that JT Miller shouldn't be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it does seem like wildly, like 99% of people that I've seen make any comments about anything about Robertson are like, WTF.
Yeah, it's honestly baffling. It's, you know, Robo hasn't had a chance to play much on the international stage. He doesn't get to go to Worlds like some of the other players who made Team USA because unlike them, his team is still in the playoffs when Worlds happens. Like, I mean, that's literally an argument that I've seen. Like, I saw somebody go, well, Jason Robertson doesn't elect to go to Worlds, so that's why Team USA doesn't think he's loyal. I'm like, he doesn't elect to go to Worlds because his team's in the fucking playoffs, idiot. Like,
yeah, that's not a good argument.
It's not a good argument. So people question how he will perform in big games, you know? But since 2021, Robertson ranks second in points among American players and third in goals among American players in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So he does well in big games. Incidentally, he has exactly the same stat line in the regular season, too. So he's consistent.
Well, but what about his body of work? Oh, that is his body.
That is his body of work.
I know.
Since 2021. So he's a consistent high scorer in regular games and big games. Also, another thing that I don't see talked about enough, he is excellent in the shootout. I think only like Trevor Zegras is currently better in the shootout for Americans.
Sure.
Patrick Kane used to be great, but like he's old as fuck now. And I can say that because I'm also old as fuck.
Yes, I saw some kids interviewing him on YouTube yesterday, and man, does he look old.
I know I'm older than he is, and he needs to hit me up for my skincare routine, which is not anything special.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, Jason Robertson, excellent shootout guy. That is actually important at the Olympics, unlike the playoffs. Especially for Team USA, the shootout has been very important in years past. It's kept us in when we've needed it. So yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing to be overlooked. And it's like, oh, well, we need defense, not goals. And it's like, okay, if you're really playing this low scoring, grinded out style and you really think, okay, we're going to get through and just win by a goal. What happens if, it's a tie game 1-1 and you go to OT and then you have to go to a shootout? What then?
I don't know.
Is JT Miller going to win the shootout for you?
Well,
Is he?
No, of course not. But they do have some other people that can shoot a puck on the net. Not as good as Robertson in a shootout, but
yeah, I'm just saying you want to take the person who has the track record and like the best shootout percentage. And other than Trevor Zegras, it's Jason Robertson.
Yeah, no, it seems like an injustice has been done against the world.
Yes, so it's a lot to process. There has been talk online about possible racial implications.
Okay.
And I haven't really weighed in on this at all online.
Is Bill Guerin a noted racist?
No, I mean, Bill Guerin is actually half Nicaraguan, I believe. He's Hispanic. So people are like, well, therefore he can't be racist because...
Well, we know that to not be true.
That is not true. You can still be racist even if you are a racial minority yourself. That is a fact.
Yep.
I do believe that there is a conception that an Asian player maybe is soft. There are perceptions about Asian men as being softer, more effeminate, things like that.
Okay.
So I do believe that there may be some level of unconscious bias against Jason Robertson on that level. Can I say that is any part of the reason? No, I can't. So I haven't really weighed in on that either way. And I'm not going to weigh in on it either way now. It is just something that I have seen talked about a lot online. And I do think it's important to mention because a lot of people do believe it very strongly.
Interesting.
And
yeah.
I do think unconscious bias is a thing that we all need to examine all the time and keep in mind. And again, he says Jason Robertson doesn't check, and Jason Robertson checks, guys. He does. So
right.
That's just science.
All right.
Anyway, I have a lot of feelings about this.
I was going to say, I need to talk you down off a ledge. You're like emotional about this.
Well, I like things to be done the right way.
Yeah. And I noted Jason Robertson not hater. I guess hater's the word.
Noted fence sitter
of Robertson until he was playing good again. Like, as you know, I liked him, then he sucked, and then I hated him, and now he's good again. And I'm like, all right, good.
Yeah.
But he should obviously be there.
Yeah. Like I said, he's not even my favorite star. There are other players I like a lot more. I just vibe with them better for whatever reason. But as a Dallas star, he is one of my children, and I will defend my children. And
yeah, absolutely.
That's all there is to it. And so what I foresee happening is that the U.S. will go and they'll get eliminated in the quarterfinals because they will go to a shootout and lose.
That's your storyline.
That's my storyline, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah,
they won't even medal. That's what I'm saying.
As an American, I kind of am not rooting for them based on just this and just other things about us as America.
About being American.
And, I just want to see a good game, generally speaking. So
listen, I hear you. And that's why I have a few other teams to talk about. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the Sweden and Finland men's hockey teams, which were also announced. We're not going to do as in-depth of a breakdown on these.
Yeah, the Finland guys, I kind of know. The Swedish guys, I don't have like a great grasp grasp on all the Swedish players.
Well, let's start with the Sweden guys then. So the last time the NHL allowed players to participate in the Olympics was in Sochi in 2014, where Sweden took home silver. And 3 players from that team are on this roster. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Erik Karlsson, and Gabe Landeskog were all on that team. But they are not the only Swedes on the team with Olympic experience. Rasmus Dahlin played in Pyeongchang in 2018 when he was just 17, so before he was even drafted by the Sabres. And then Pontus Holmberg also played in Beijing in 2022 when he was a prospect for the Maple Leafs, and he won a bronze. And then there are a lot of other familiar names on Team Sweden. I won't list everyone, but ones that you'll know for sure are Philip Forsberg, Mika Zibanejad, and of course, your bestie, William Nylander. Maybe he's going to make a YouTube video about it.
Well, we didn't do Fred's Corner of Stuff yet, but he did make a YouTube video and it's fucking incredible.
He did indeed. We will get there. Don't you worry. So Team Sweden, there's going to be plenty of familiar faces there. And Team Sweden is widely considered to be sort of a, medal contender. So
I feel like they, from who I know on the roster and who I don't, they seem pretty balanced and like an interesting situation, I guess. I don't know.
I think they're going to be really worth checking out and looking into, and I'm excited to see how it all gels together.
Yeah.
Team Finland has a lot of familiar names and faces.
Finland looks really good.
As we all have said here, we are spiritually Finnish.
I think if they can get a little like energy in them, like at Four Nations, is that coach the same coach that's going to be for the Olympics? I don't know. I feel like that guy just, put a wet blanket on them or something.
I am not sure about the coaching, honestly. So yeah. I would have to check into that.
But man, get those guys some Red Bulls or something. And I feel like the Finns got a real good chance.
Well, I can tell you that all 4 members of the current Finnish Mafia members of the Dallas Stars are on the team. So huge congratulations to Miro Heiskanen, Roope Hintz, Esa Lindell, and Mika Rantanen. And there are also some former stars joining the party in Mikael Granlund and Joel Kiviranta. Other Finns that you might know on the team include Sebastian Aho, Capo Kakko, Rasmus Ristolainen, Kevin Lankinen, Juuse Saros, and of course, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Mm-hmm. I believe most of the Finnish contingent from the Florida Panthers will be there as well. Unfortunately, Alexander Barkov will not be among them because of his injury, and that is a huge blow.
That's a travesty. I feel bad for that man. He should be there.
That is really, really sad. Anyway, well, I love our other Stars Olympians, Thomas Harley and Jake Ottinger, and presumably Radek Vaksa will be on Team Czechia when they announce their roster. I have decided to cheer for Team Finland this year since they have so many of my faves.
I mean, Finland's really stacked for people that we know and like.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's what I care most about at the Olympics is I don't care who wins. I care about who I like the most.
Absolutely. I don't even know who I care about at the Olympics for hockey because I've never watched Olympic hockey.
Yeah, no, this will be your first time. I've watched Olympic hockey really even before I watched NHL hockey. I checked out Olympic hockey, mostly women's hockey. So I'm excited to see this now, knowing the players the way that I do.
And so this format too of the Olympics, it's one and done. Like you get a game and you win and you either move on or you play the next loser or whatever. It's not like a best of 3 or whatever.
I honestly have no idea. It's been so long since I've paid attention to the Olympics.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure, 99% sure that's how it goes.
All right, I'm going to take your word for it. So,
which I find interesting. Like, yeah. you got to win your game.
No, that's super cool.
Right?
So I love that. Yeah. I love that for us. Now, I do also want to talk about women's hockey because, we were talking about how we're going to have a hard time supporting, the U.S. men's hockey team, partially because we're Americans, but also just because of the controversy. Mm-hmm. But the women's U.S. hockey team has some great players on it. And I think if you are like us and you're having a hard time going, go America, we should still maybe support our women's U.S. hockey team if you are American.
Okay.
Hilary Knight is going to make her 5th Olympic appearance.
Hilary Knight, noted geriatric Hilary Knight.
Noted Olympian Hilary Knight. Thank you very much. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Layla Edwards is going to become the first Black women's hockey player to compete for the U.S. at the Olympics.
Nice.
For Stars fans, Texas native Hannah Bilka will make her Olympic debut. Stars fans kind of know her because she has grown up around the Stars and the Stars have featured her.
Yeah, they did a big thing about her and the other girl when they did the PWHL takeover.
They did, yeah, her and Allie Simpson. And then some other big names from U.S. women's hockey include Taylor Heisey, Kendall Coyne Schofield, Grace Zumwinkle, and Gwyneth Phillips. And then Hockey Canada is also announcing their women's national team roster next week, which is also super exciting if you're a hockey nerd like I am. So I will be updating everybody on that as well. But yeah, don't sleep on women's Olympic hockey because that's fucking badass, you guys.
Yeah, no, that's real cool. And, you know, with a lot of the PWHLers making it in too, they're, you know, coming in with a different perspective and like a lot of practice and like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, I think, a different game than it's been before. And it's always been really exciting and fun to watch before. But I think it's going to be maybe even a level up than what we're used to.
Yeah.
And also for all my heated rivalry people out there, U.S. women's hockey and Canada women's hockey, they have a history of marrying each other, guys. Like this is fantastic. This is great for all of you romantics out there.
Absolutely.
So it's great. I think it's wonderful. So Olympics, big news, lots of ups, lots of downs, worth talking about. And I think that's it on that topic for now.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited to see the Olympics, and it'll be a nice kind of change from the NHL regular season grind, I think.
Yeah, I think that'll be nice to sort of get out of that a little bit and mix it up a little. So speaking of change of pace, we did watch the Winter Classic game on the 2nd.
We did.
That took place at the Lone Depot Park in Miami, which you were very confused by the name of it.
I literally was like, I think it's Home Depot, guys. I don't think it's Lone Depot.
It took you a while to figure out that Lone was spelled Loan.
Well, once I realized it wasn't Home Depot, I was like, well, why is this depot alone? Why is it the Lone Depot? And then I was like, oh, it's probably, and I could have just looked, but no.
No, it's just more fun to be confused.
Yeah.
The Fred story. So it was the first outdoor game to ever be held in Florida, the outdoor hockey game.
Yep.
People were pretty sure it was going to be a disaster, but I honestly thought the ice looked really good. It was way better than the ice for the 2025 Winter Classic in Chicago.
It literally looked like really good ice compared, right?
It was like so smooth.
The Chicago one, they seemed like they were literally playing on a pond. It just seemed
looked like there was like chunks and slush.
Yeah, and it was slow.
Yeah, this one looked so much better.
They all looked fast out there.
They did. Speaking of looks, everyone arrived in looks. The Panthers were dressed in Miami Vice outfits, those sort of linen suits with pastel t-shirts underneath.
Yeah.
And they rolled up in sports cars, and Matthew Tkachuk was smoking a cigar. Listen, guys, if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you know I used to be like, you know, I know everybody hates Matthew Tkachuk, but I kind of like him. You know how like when you're in college, like you date a guy, and then like when you're an adult, you look back and you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like that's how I feel about him now. I'm just like, oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
I've really just gone so sour on him.
You have.
I've really just turned a corner. And that corner is like down a dark alley of my feelings and emotions of Matthew Tkachuk.
I think it shows growth on your part.
I think it does too. I don't know. Maybe that's why I've been so depressed lately, is I'm just like grappling with realizing that I just had terrible taste in hockey players.
Maybe.
I don't know. I liked that he was an asshole. And now I'm just like, oh no, he was not the fun kind of asshole. He was the worst kind of asshole.
Yep. He's shown his true colors now.
Yeah. Except for, I think he had always shown his true colors. I just thought I liked them, but I didn't. I don't know. I was so naive. I was so young and so naive back when I was 43. Now I'm 44 and things are different. Anyway, they all showed up in sports cars and their Miami Vice outfits. The New York Rangers showed up all dressed in white, but they looked sort of in really cheap suits and things, and it was not as stylized.
No, they definitely seem to have got their outfits at Kohl's or something.
Matt Rembe was also wearing just like a tank top
cut off
that was like see-through. Like you could see his nipples. It was very awkward.
Yeah.
So different vibes, but you know, they tried. So good for them.
And Rempe with his buzzed head. I don't know about this hair choice.
I honestly didn't even see his head. I was too distracted by the nipples. Yeah. And that's on me.
Yeah.
It's just so weird because like I remember being so charmed by the Panthers and their bathrobe walk-in looks last year at the, Finland game. And then now I'm just like, ew, gross.
Yep.
What was I thinking? Anyway, so yes, the matchup was between the Rangers and the Panthers. And the Rangers have played a lot of outdoor games and they've won every single one. And this one was no exception. They absolutely demolished the Panthers 5-1. Mika Zibanejad scored the first hat trick in Winter Classic history. His third goal was a shorthanded empty netter.
Yeah, should that count though?
Yes, it should, because it was against the Panthers, and fuck the Panthers right now. And he also set a record for the highest number of points scored in an outdoor game with 5 points. which is incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The game was on TNT, so they, of course, had one of their ridiculous fucking trophies. It was like the hot cocoa cup, and there was like cocoa splashing out of it, and it looked so stupid. And they insisted on giving it to Mika at the end of the game and making him take a picture with it. And he's not like the most animated guy, but he looked so aggressively unenthused. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, he's very demure a lot of the time, but God, when he's not, he's a riot. He's very like subtly like funny.
Yeah, no, he's really great. I really enjoy him. One of the things that happened was that the musician Role Model performed. I remember when this was announced, our hockey was like, who the fuck is Role Model? Right. And I was like, really? Is he that unknown? But I just might be chronically online. So that's probably why I know who he is. Anyway, he mostly has a song that people know called Sally When the Wine Runs Out.
Yep.
And that song kind of is viralish online because when he performs it, there's like a little breakdown part that's kind of the one catchy part of the song. And whenever he's performing it, he has like a celebrity come out on stage for one part. And that's his Sally for the night, basically.
Yeah.
And there have been some fun people who have come out in the past. Natalie Portman, who we love. She's great. Hilary Duff came out looking super hot and people are like, oh, she looks so great for her age. And I'm like, listen, she's like 38. Calm down, guys.
Right.
Like she's not that old. Conan Gray came out and like planted a big kiss on him and people were like, woo. Yep. So there, it's been fun. There have been viral moments. It's great.
It is, yeah. And Charlie XCX.
Charlie XCX on SNL.
I know it wasn't the greatest, but I'm
you love your girly pop, and Charlie XCX is one of your faves.
It's still Brat Summer forever. So
it is. It's the never ending Brat Summer. We were hanging out in the living room. I had actually changed the channel, and you were like, "You're going to miss the Role Model song." I was like, "Oh, you're right," because I did want to see who Sally was. And then I sat there, and then I just had this feeling of dread come over me, and I said, "Oh my God, Sally's going to be Matthew Kachuk, isn't it?" And you were like, "No," and I was like, "It is. I bet you $5 it's going to be Matthew Kachuk."
Yeah, I couldn't come up with anybody who it would be other than J-Lo, which was a terrible idea.
Right, because they did have Luis Fonsi open the show.
Play Despacito.
Play Despacito.
Stop playing your new stuff. Play Despacito.
Right. So, no, I just sat there and I was like, oh my God, they're going to bring Matthew Kachuk out. He's going to be Sally. And you were like, no, they wouldn't do that, would they? And I was like, yes, of course they would. It's the NHL. They're going to. And guys, they brought out Matthew Kachuk. Matthew Kachuk was Sally. Now, they did bring out Alexander Barkov.
Which I like.
Which we do like him. And they brought out the Stanley Cup. I think really the Stanley Cup was Sally. And they just brought out the Panthers to have the Stanley Cup.
Right.
But the Matthew Kachuk of it all really ruined things for me.
I would have enjoyed just Barkov.
Yeah, just Barkov with the cup would have been great.
That would have been just a delight.
Yes, that would have been so nice. Just Barkov in the cup. Yeah, just do that. We didn't need to bring Matthew Kachuk into this.
It's a real anti-Matthew Kachuk episode.
It really is. And I used to be so pro Kachuk. I know how things have changed, how the turntables have turned tables. Also, I didn't know this at the time, but Role Model had apparently on his Instagram story promoted that he was going to be performing at the Winter Classic and had put up a still photo from Heated Rivalry.
Oh, okay.
To be like performing at the Winter Classic tonight. So people thought that maybe Hudson Williams and Connor Story were going to come on the stage for Sally.
Oh, that would have been wild.
That would have been incredible. And if I would have known that going in and been anticipating them, I would have been so excited. And then if I would have been hoping for that and then Matthew Kachuk would have come out, lightning would have struck me dead.
Right.
So not to be dramatic or anything.
Certainly not. Not you.
Not me. Never. So yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that Role Model doesn't do anything for me.
Once again, the NHL just continuing to crush it at not being good at putting on shows.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. Well, that's really all I have. I didn't even look at other NHL news because I knew that was going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we've basically been talking for a long time now.
I know. So, but before I move on to the Flyers and the Stars, I just wanted to know if there was anything to talk about in Fred's corner of stuff we haven't talked about.
There's literally only two things. So
excellent. We
watched the Minnesota Wild put out a YouTube with Kirill and Eriksson Ek.
Yes.
And it was basically, we're going to show them celebrities we don't think that they'll know. And
right.
And, we've seen enough Kirill to know that the thrill part of his nickname is just on the ice.
It's ironic otherwise.
There is no thrill with Kirill off the ice.
That is absolutely
the
correct.
Man has nothing to say and doesn't know anything.
No.
So anyway, they were showing him all these celebrities, and obviously he was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. And then they get to Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
And he's like, no, I know this one. And he's like, he's the guy that chirped Drake. So
that he is in fact the guy that chirped Drake.
Which was amazing. So that was the entire good part of that video.
That was a pretty painful video to watch.
Yeah.
Eric Snack also didn't know anybody else, but he would at least be like, I think that's an actress. I think that's a singer.
Right.
So yeah.
These guys do not get out much.
They do not. It is all hockey all the time.
Yep. And as we said earlier, William Scamlander is back with a new YouTube video, and he dropped absolute fire.
You were very excited about this video.
I was excited when I found out that it came out.
You were just complaining last week that there had been no new Will Scam Nylander videos.
Absolutely. So I was just excited that he dropped one because I'm like, hell yeah, I can make fun of this. But he dropped absolute heat.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So I'll just give you a quick overview, but I'd say if you're going to check out a William Nylander YouTube video, check out this one and skip all the others. All two others that there are. But it starts out with him going out to dinner with Rasmus Sandin after they won over the Caps 2-1. I think this was like right before Thanksgiving. And they tried to get Yarn Croc. He's like a center for the Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to get him to go out, and they called him on the phone. They're like, what are you not coming out? And he's like, I don't want to be on TV. He's like, screw that. So anyway, that was cute. Already like a ton of personality between Rasmus and Nylander, and they're speaking Swedish and kind of broken English and stuff. They go to park in a parking garage. Sandin scrapes his car against the top of the parking garage, backs out, breaks the gate. Absolute comedy gold. Amazing. They go have dinner or whatever. They eat some food. They talk. And then they go do like recovery stuff at this recovery place that doesn't have any vowels except the Y has been changed to an I.
It's like recovery, but
recovery.
But it's been disemboweled.
Exactly. It's real hip.
It's like a Panic at the Disco or a Fall Out Boy song title.
Yeah. So they go do a cold plunge in a red light tanning bed thing, that kind of stuff.
Red light therapy.
Yeah. So they go do that. And then it finishes up with Nylander in Toronto at the Nike store shopping for clothes with kids that, some kind of like charity thing or benefit for these kids. And it's him literally like hanging out with like 10-year-olds, walking around, like picking out clothes. And it's super fun. And he's running to get like different sizes for kids. He's checking them out at the cash register. He's, being super personable and super fun with these kids. And it was a great video. And his dogs are there too, obviously following around.
Well, of course they are.
One of the girls was like, do they just follow you around? And he's like, yeah, they kind of do. She was a little bit afraid. Anyway, super funny video, super great. Lots of personality, really laid back, good content, good YouTube content. So
even with all of the very blatant product placement.
Yeah, it was totally fine. I had no complaints.
Well, I'm glad that you got to spend some quality time with Will Scam Nylander, your Swedish bestie.
I tell you what, we're slowly becoming bros.
Yeah, one-sided bros.
Yep.
Just the way you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that way you don't have to actually like leave the house.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna go out there.
Yeah, you can't take him birding because he'd insist on bringing the dogs. It'd be a big thing.
Yeah. The dogs are not going to help any situation.
Absolutely not.
No, and he's not going to put him on a leash, and you got to have him at least leashed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your update. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was in the room when you were watching this, but I definitely zoned out. After
well, no, I turned it off and I went back and watched the whole thing on my own.
Okay, that explains why I don't remember half of this.
Yeah, it was just me and Willie by ourselves.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on and talk about our hockey teams, and I'm just going to talk about them kind of all together today.
Just a generic lump of hockey teams.
Just a generic lump of hockey teams because it was the way the hockey schedule worked out.
Well, it was a holiday week, too.
Yeah, there just weren't a lot of games.
Yeah.
So we've got the Flyers and the Stars. Earlier in the week, the focus was on the Flyers. On Sunday, they played the Kraken and they lost 4-1 with the only goal coming from Carl Grundstrom. Tuesday's game against the Canucks was a lot more fun to watch. We had goals from Noah Cates, Carl Grundstrom, Travis Konechny, Bobby Brink, Owen Tippett, and Christian Dvorak in a 6-3 victory for the Flyers. TK's goal was especially fun to watch as he corralled a pass from Jamie Drysdale and fell forward, putting it into the net, which was very entertaining. The Flyers and the Stars both played on New Year's Eve, but we were not at home to watch it.
Look at us, not at home to watch hockey.
I know. I made some friends this year, local friends, because most of my friends live in the computer or my phone.
Right.
And I made some local friends. And so, yeah, we went out and we were playing board games, and our daughter was building a gingerbread house. And we did that on New Year's Eve. And it's a really good thing we did that because neither of our teams played very well. The Flyers fell to the Flames 5-1, and the Stars lost to the Buffalo Sabres 4-1.
Which you had called from the start of things.
Well, the Sabres were on a 9-game winning streak at that point. That took them to a 10-game win streak.
Yeah.
So the Stars, as you know, we're a charitable team.
Yes.
We like to help the underprivileged, and and we didn't want to ruin their win streak like that.
Yeah.
So we're very generous, and I just think that that's nice of us.
That is nice of you.
I think it's also funny that our only goal was scored by Maverick Bourque. He actually opened the scoring, so that just seems like a really big prank by the team to be like, oh, Mav finally scored a goal. Let's just let Buffalo score 4 unanswered goals just to fuck with him.
Yeah.
Because of how he's kind of the scapegoat. And I thought that was very entertaining. But yes, obviously I didn't bother to watch the highlights because can you really say they're even highlights? Aren't they lowlights at that point?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that sucks. Anyway, the Stars played again the next day, immediately departing Dallas and heading to Chicago. Jake Ottinger started in this game after his backup handled the game against the Sabres, probably hoping for revenge after the Hawks had bested him in a shootout win not even a week earlier. This game was a struggle, though. The trouble started when Essa Lindell went to the box for hooking in the first period, and the Hawks scored a goal. Mikko Rantanen tied up the game, but just as the period expired, Nils Lundkvist took a rather soft penalty for cross-checking, which meant that the Hawks would start the second period on the power play.
Yeah, that was pretty soft, wasn't it?
It was very soft.
Rantanen's backhand goal there was sick.
It was so good.
It was really,
really
nice. He made it look so easy.
Yeah. When Rantanen's firing, he is just smoking. It's great.
And I've seen Rantanen do 6 in a row cross checks 1,000 times harder than that one that got the penalty and not get a call.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what that was, but there were some very puzzling calls that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ended up being super unfortunate because when the second period started, the Hawks scored again 13 seconds in on that power play.
13. You got to let Fred get back to his seat.
You were downstairs cleaning the litter box.
Right. I'm on my way.
Yeah. Listen, you had the whole 15 minutes to do that.
Well, it's true, but you shouldn't let people score goals 13 seconds in. I was literally just 10 seconds late.
They were down a man. What do you want them to do? Anyway, the Hawks then scored again halfway through the period, and Miro Heiskanen was so frustrated that he broke the curved glass by the bench with a stick and got a 2-minute penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, did we ever see this?
They never showed it on screen, not on our broadcast and not on the Hawks broadcast either. So I don't know if they didn't get it or what, but...
Interesting, yeah, because I know...
All we know is that they showed an official picking up a shard of glass off the ice, and then they showed the broken glass, and then they showed Miro getting sent to the box.
Exactly.
So we all had to just kind of put it together on our own.
Yeah. He's certainly been hitting his stick at the glass in the last couple games that I've seen where he gets angry about something. And I guess don't do that on the curved glass.
Right. Or he usually does it more at like a bench or something. But I don't know. Miro's pretty, I feel like, chill for the most part. So he was definitely not feeling it. Fortunately, we were able to kill that penalty, and we ended the second period with the Hawks up 3-1. So even though the Stars were looking lackluster, I did still have some hope. We've seen them come back from a 2-goal deficit before. That hope did slip a little when the Hawks scored again 4 minutes into the third period.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. It seemed like it was all but over, but with just under 4 minutes left in the game and the goalie pulled, Jason Robertson got another goal on the board and gave us a little bit of life. And then with 18 seconds left, Matt Duchene scored. So then we were within a goal.
Yeah.
And the Stars did keep battling until the very end, but they couldn't quite tie it up. And the Hawks won 4-3, which is the same score they had when they beat us right before Christmas, although that was in a shootout.
Yeah.
Or right after Christmas, rather.
Yeah, but it definitely felt more like a 4-1 game overall.
Oh, for sure. It definitely was too little too late. But again, there were times last year where it just felt like we gave up. And I did like that we kind of found our game and fought at the end there. So
yeah,
I appreciate that. I do. People definitely online are very worried and upset, and we're still second or maybe third overall. I don't know if that's changed with Minnesota right now, but second or third overall right now. Like, we're doing very well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a bit of a slump. The Stars are playing in a half an hour, actually.
Oh, boy.
So I will get to watch that by the time this episode is posted. That game will have already happened. So hopefully it will have gone well.
Who are they playing?
They are playing the Habs, I believe.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm hoping that they have it together. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Finally, on Saturday, the Flyers were in Edmonton to play the Oilers. They actually had pretty similar records heading into this matchup. The Flyers had 20 wins, 12 losses, and 7 OT losses. And the Oilers had 20 wins, 15 losses, and 6 OT losses. I put the game on as background noise while I was getting some work done. So, of course, the Flyers had to make it an exciting one. So I kept getting distracted. First, Denver Barkey made a great defensive play, got the puck out of the zone, and then made his way to the net in time to receive a pass from Coots to score his first NHL goal. He has been looking really great since he got called up. He was really excited and body slammed the glass in celebration. Next, we had goals from Travis Sanheim and Bobby Brink to give the Flyers a 3-0 lead. Darnell Nurse decided to fight Garnet Hathaway to try to fire up the Oilers, but they mostly just spun each other around in a circle until Hathaway hauled him down to the ice. Then, unfortunately, Travis Sanheim had a bad turnover, and McDavid with speed absolutely smoked Vladar. The second period was less eventful, but we did have a Bush bomb halfway through the period, bringing the score to 3-2 in favor of the Flyers.
You can't stop a Bush bomb.
Can't do it. That's why they're called Bush bombs. I actually got a little distracted and didn't turn the game back on until almost halfway through the third period because I had switched over to put the pit on during intermission. And I'm trying to get caught up on that before season 2. And it's a really good show. But literally the second I turned the game back on, Nick Seeler scored a goal. So I guess I'm the Flyers' good luck charm.
Yeah, I actually ended up seeing most of the third period for some reason. I needed a snack or something. I sat down and watched it upstairs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that took the score to 4-2, and the Oilers pulled their goalie, but the Flyers did have a lot of unsuccessful attempts at empty net goals until Owen Tippett finally managed to sink one with 1 minute and 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So the Flyers were victorious at 5-2.
That Sealer goal, too, is his first this season, and it's his first in nearly like 365 days, like almost to the day or something.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a good luck charm.
Yeah.
What can I say? So it was fun. It was a nice way to end the week after some disappointing games. So
cool.
I'll take that, and hopefully the Stars can work some magic today as well.
Well, yeah, we're getting back into the work week, so they gotta get back on their form now.
They sure do. So break's over, guys.
Break's over. Let's go.
Break's over.
And then we're gonna have another break, or they're gonna have another break.
All right. Well, I always like to end the episode with something fun. And, you've had a few weeks off of work and you've spent most of your days birding.
I have spent a considerable amount of time birding.
Our listeners on Tumblr have gotten to see some of the amazing photos you've been taking, and we've had a few requests for a new segment called Fred's Birding Corner. So before we get into our game time, I wanted to give you the opportunity to give us an update on some of your birding adventures this week.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about my birding adventures, but I'll just give you a quick summary going into 2026. So I started birding in September, and in 2025, I saw 95 bird species. So in 4 months, 5 months or whatever, 95. And as of the 3rd of 2026, I have seen 29 species.
That's crazy.
Yes, that's so a strong indication of how much I'm out there looking at these little guys.
Just out there walking around looking at burbs.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been super fun. And, I've seen a lot of just the normal winter birds or whatever. So, I'm excited for spring. I'm excited for fall migration. 2 things I didn't get to see in my start of birding, but it should be interesting. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the American kestrel today.
All right.
I don't know if people are aware of this falcon, but he's a short little pint-sized guy and just absolutely delightful. They are around a lot more than you would expect or think, usually open fields, but that's my retroactive spark bird. I didn't have a spark bird that got me into birding, but once I saw my first kestrel, I was like, that would have been the bird that would have got me into birding. Anyway, I keep seeing them all the time now, and they're just fascinating little things, and they generally do not seem excited to have me looking at them or near them.
You did get attacked by a bird.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that was probably my least favorite birding experience, but a Townsend solitaire literally attacked me at the graveyard.
I mean, it says solitaire right in the name. He did not want you to photograph him.
Thought I was going after his juniper berries.
He said, no, thank you.
Yeah, it was actually terrifying, and it still haunts me.
Yes. Well, lesson learned. Don't photograph a Townsend solitaire.
Yep.
See, I know birds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to game time. Thank you for your birding update. I do appreciate it. All right. Game time. Star Social Media had another fun video this week asking the players to make a New Year's resolution on behalf of a teammate. Justin Ritzkovian thinks Maverick Bork should resolve to pick up the tab more, and Mav is offended, which is definitely his branch now. Mav thinks Wyatt should stop scrolling. Wyatt thinks Jake should follow his lead a little more and listen to him. Miko Rantanen talks about how Essa Lindell loves Kinder chocolate. Rope Hens walks up and hears the word Kinder and immediately says Essa, so Miko is not exaggerating. Anyway, Miko thinks Essa should cut back. Miro speaks for all of us when he says Rope should keep growing his hair. Jake says Wyatt should shower more. Colin Blackwell says Matt Duchesne should bring his son Bo around more often, which is sweet.
Oh, I thought Bo was his dog.
No, I think Bo is his son.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
Maybe Bo is his dog.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Dog or kid. I don't know.
Dog or kid, either way. Rope, as per usual, has a hard time coming up with anything, but finally says that Mira should read more books. Then Oscar says that Jake should keep up with the book club. And then Kyle Capobianco also says that Jake Ottinger needs to read more. So all of this got me thinking, what should the Dallas Stars be reading in the new year? So I put together a few ideas. I didn't ask you to do this because I know that you don't know books very well.
As a former English major, I sure don't.
And that's fine. You know, the world has changed. We're all digital these days, but I put together a little reading list and I think that's fine.
I think this is great.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Jake Ottinger since everybody seemed to really be targeting him. I think that Jake Ottinger should read Walden. So It's a foundational text on simple living and the solitude of nature, which feels perfect for a goalie.
It does. I feel like Hellebuck would be in that book club with him. Like, I feel like Hellebuck's probably read that.
I mean, really, what is an ice rink if not a frozen pond?
Right?
Right? See?
I like this. Yeah.
Deep thoughts. For Jamie Benn, I am recommending How to Talk to Anyone. It's a self-help book that provides 92 practical techniques for improving communication skills, building rapport, and boosting confidence in social situations.
Man, I feel like that ship has sailed for him, but
I mean, it might be too little too late at this point. He is kind of at the tail end of his career, but I don't know, it might help with media a little bit.
Yeah.
So who knows? For Wyatt Johnston and Thomas Harley, I'm going to have them read Pride and Prejudice.
Really?
Something about the way they interact just gives me real Darcy and Elizabeth vibes.
All right. I like that. I feel like that's going to be a hard read for them.
Oh, it's definitely going to be challenging. Yeah. So maybe I'll just assign them the Cliffs Notes, actually.
Maybe just have them watch the BBC miniseries.
Like they can watch that long. Maybe just the movie.
Maybe the movie.
Speaking of kind of old-timey books, I have picked out for Essa Lindell Anne of Green Gables, which was one of my favorite books growing up.
Why does that fit so well?
I know, right? It just popped into my head. Anne has this sense of optimism and kind of no matter what's going on, she just always has this sense of sort of optimism and whimsy. And Essa with his perpetual smile, I feel like would really vibe well with that.
Yeah, no, something about that book just fits.
Yeah, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. For Miko Rantanen, I went a nonfiction route and picked something called The Mastery of Movement. This book was written in 1950, and it's considered, again, a foundational text on human movement, exploring the connection between inner motivation and outer physical expression. It's intended more for dancers and actors, but I think it could be helpful for hockey too. And I think maybe it could help him sort of connect his emotions to his movement a little bit better. Because I do think maybe the more frustrated he is, the more flaily he gets.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe he could stop taking people out. Maybe that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be good.
For Maverick Bork, I also went nonfiction, and there's a book called Trickster Makes This World, Mischief, Myths, and Art. And that is a book that explores trickster mythology throughout different cultures, because you cannot tell me that Maverick is not a trickster spirit in the body of a hockey player.
I like it.
Like that guy is mischievous.
And you can really just like connect with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he really needs to channel his trickster powers for more mischief.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really bringing a great vibe to the team, and I enjoy it a lot.
Cool.
And then finally for Robe Hens, I don't think he should read a book. I think he should put out a book on how to be a diva and a fashion icon, because we could all use a little inspiration in the upcoming year on how to be more fabulous.
Ooh, could it be a coffee table book?
Absolutely. It can and should be. Like,
I like this.
I want lots of photos of
Yeah.
Rope looking fabulous in his looks and giving tips on just how to be a queen. So I think that this is what we all need coming into the new year.
Nice.
We all just need to embrace whatever it is in us that makes us amazing. And I feel like Rope can show us the way because he's amazing.
I love this. So you didn't assign Thomas Pynchon books to anybody?
I did not. Because why? And that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Isis Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Isis Slippery Pod. You can also email us at isisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we would love to get suggestions for games and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box.